So next I would go into reports and data exports. So in a way, they are the same thing within REDCap. They can call the table of data that you see on the screen as reports, and then you have the option to export the data. So so when here you have the data export tool. So from this example, there is report A and B. Let's see, where's the cursor? Report A and B, those are by default. So A is you just view or export all the data within your project. So that could be if you just want to do a backup of your data, you put it on your secure file server for safekeeping or for analysis later. Report B, actually, I recommend using if you want to select multiple instruments very quickly. So for example, if you want a data set that only has demographics and baseline data, it would take a while if you were to add it one variable at a time. So the quickest way is to use report B, make custom selections, and you can select the forms you want it and just view report or export data. That will be the quickest way. Now, I would next go into the custom report. So that's where you have a little bit more flexibility in terms of what records will appear, which specific variables you want, for example. To start with, you have to name your report. So they kind of, and also a description. So you kind of know what that report is about, and something you may want to put in your description so that at a glance, people know what this data export or report includes. Maybe you'll have a description of your filters, like who are included. Maybe only adults, or only children, or only people with diabetes. So that's a quick description. So then, at a glance, they know, oh, these are our participants with diabetes. Next, actually, the first step is who has access to view this data. By default, it's all users within your project, within your REDCap project, but you can have custom user access, so you can select specific users or specific roles. So a data access group. I'll touch on these roles and data access group very shortly, but basically they're just groups of people. You're grouping these people based on their involvement in the project. So that could be a group of students or a group of research assistants, for example. So next, I sort of touched on this earlier. It's like, if you want to create a report for multiple instruments, this may be the long way to do it, where you're looking up each variable at a time and you're building it vertically, one variable at a time. Of course, you have the option top right corner here and choose instruments, but it's still multiple clicks. If you want to include, let's say, 3 instruments, you have to do this 3 times, versus report B will be a little quicker. Here you go. Now here's the customization that I was referring to when you're making custom report, where you can have filters, so you don't have to include all records in your study. So for example, in this example, I would like all the records of all the participants that are older or 18 years old. So they see here it's greater than or equals to 18. It could be anything. It could be a multiple choice question and so on and so forth. Something to highlight, live filters. So live filters, and I'll show you in a bit what that looks like. It's basically only works, you can only use multiple choice options for this. So that way, for example, here I have the gender field selected as live filter. So you can have a report that is for everyone that's older than 18, older or equals to 18. However, previously, before live filters was included in REDCap, you may have to create a report just for people that are male, that say they're male or female, or but now you could have one report and you have just dynamically update that report based on what selection you want, or all the people that are older than 18. And lastly, it's the order of your records. By default, it orders it by in ascending order based on the study ID, so 1, 2, 3, 4. But you may want to order it by their name. You may want to order them by another field that you're using to record their different study ID that you're using outside of REDCap. Whatever it works for your research project. So here's the example I have. So um, this is a report of, again, anyone that's older or equals to 18. And then you see here there's two records. So these are all the records that are people older than or equals to 18, older than 17. And these are the fields I selected. Now you see here as well, there's a live filter. Oh, I didn't take a screenshot, but basically if I choose gender here, there will have male and female option. So you choose male, only study ID 2 will be appearing in the resulting, and you could quickly just export data and will apply that additional filter. So you don't have to, it's like, oh, I can view it as with the correct filters, but can I export it with those filters as well? And yes, you can. You can change it here and then just press export data here. And to export data, when you press export data, there's this big interface. Well, it's not as scary as it looks. There's not that many options you actually have to interact with. So by the most popular export format is CSV raw data. So that's especially important to differentiate between the labels option is for multiple choice questions. So for example, going back to my earlier demo where I had provinces and territories, raw data will give you the 1, 2, 3 for your provinces and territories, while labels will give you the actual names of the provinces and territories. So depending on your use case, you may want one or the other. And this is just to help make sure that you're not accidentally exporting identifiers. So going back to when I said that if you flag a field as identifier, these are where these will come in handy. It's like you have a report that you can see names and date of birth, but if you select remove all tagged identifier fields, those will be automatically removed from your export, so they won't be accidentally exported outside of REDCap.